Yearly themes are a tool that can allow you to make large shifts in your life over long periods of time. And in a real tangible way, they're able to keep you on track and keep you in touch with the person that you want to be. By the end of this video, you'll understand everything you need to about yearly themes, to pick a theme, to implement it into your life, and to start seeing a high level of alignment between your actions and your vision for your life. If you're new here, my name's Matthew. My goal is to spark you to think differently so that you can engage in new possibilities. And I really believe in long-term growth over quick fixes. And yearly themes are really in line with that. They're a really great long-term growth strategy. So what do I mean when I say a yearly theme? Well, a yearly theme is a word or a set of words that put together that provide me with a North Star that I can use throughout the year. It's also important to differentiate between a goal and a theme. A goal is something that you can achieve and then tick off the list, whereas a theme is less defined. It's more a direction or an orientation, and you would never completely complete the theme ever. You kind of feel like I've done enough of it and then you let it go, but it's not like a goal that you can complete in a very real sense. There's often that thing with goals that they should be specific and measurable and a number of other characteristics, whereas a theme is really about, am I heading in the direction I want to be heading? And that's important as well when picking a theme. The reason I love yearly themes so much is my experience using them over the past few years. When I first heard about them a few years ago, I was absolutely overwhelmed. I had so much on. I booked out every weekend of the year, had a brand new dog, I had a relationship that I wanted to spend time on. I wasn't spending my time the way I really wanted to. I'd pre-committed to stuff, and so those commitments were keeping me from spending time with my partner and spending time with my puppy. What I realized at that time was that I need to do something different. And this is just when I heard this Cortex podcast. One of the hosts, CGP Grey, was doing the year of less. And I thought, this is exactly for me. I need a year of less. And so whenever it was I heard that, I started to implement this year of less. I started to say no to things. I scaled back my commitments a lot. And I really considered what was more important to me. Was it doing this or doing this? And which one was more in line with the year of less? And that was amazing. That completely changed my life that year. I went from being stressed and anxious all the time to being pretty chilled out and relaxed and calm and peaceful. Setting them every year has become an important part of my life. That's why I love them so much. Okay, so let's talk about you actually setting up a yearly theme. The first thing to note is that they're not actually yearly themes. I call them yearly themes, and that's useful terminology because it kind of puts some context to what I'm talking about. But these are just themes, and they can be a year long, they could be a month long, they could be a quarter long, or every 6 months. Whatever works for you is fine. There's nothing that ties a theme to a particular period of time. And I found at certain times, a year's too long. I accomplish my theme in 6 months and I go, you know what, I'm ready to move on to the next theme. And so if you get that sense of, you know what, it's time to move on to another theme, totally move on. There's nothing holding you back, because let's say you trial another theme for a few months and then you go, you know what, I need to go back to the previous one. That's totally fine, and you can absolutely do that. I've had a number of cases where I've been trialing a theme or trying a theme on. It's kind of like wearing a new shirt or a new jacket, kind of saying, does it fit me? Do I want to keep wearing this? Do I look good in this? If it doesn't work, feel okay to take it off and try something else. And that's kind of the approach that I really recommend with themes, is don't hold to them too tightly. Kind of hold them loosely and as something that inspires you and invigorates you. And if you find yourself getting kind of brought down by your theme, I suggest let it go and pick a new one. Pick one that does bring you forward, bring you up. So how do you come up with a yearly theme? Everyone has their own way of picking themes, and the first step in picking a theme is doing some writing and reflection on where do you want to be and what's your life like now. And just getting stuff out of your head onto paper can be really useful at this initial step. And you might do a number of different rounds of writing over the course of a few days or a few weeks or a few months to get more and more clarity on where you are right now and kind of where you're wanting to get to. Here are some questions that you could ask yourself when you're coming up with a yearly theme that might help you. What are your values that you want to live this year? What are you looking for more of in your life? What are you looking for less of in your life? What qualities do people you admire have that you'd like more of this year? And those questions should get you started on thinking about what words or what phrases might work for you to come up with a yearly theme. And I've also put together a big list of about 70 words that I've considered or have seen other people use in themes, and there's a link to that below, so check that list out as well. I want to stress here that there's no rush in coming up with a yearly theme. If it takes you a week or a month or a few months to come up with one, it's not a problem at all. And you can also pick an intermediary one before you settle on one. So I'm still trying to work out what mine is going to be for this year, but that's okay. So I'm kind of living with a few of them, and I'm going to settle into one and go, yes, I feel like this is the right one for this year, but I'm not there yet, and I'm not going to rush myself into picking a theme when I don't feel I've got it nailed yet. Let's say you've come up with a yearly theme and you're now ready to go and implement it into your life. How do you actually do that? Well, lots of people do it differently, and I have my way of doing it. The way I use it is on an everyday practice of reflecting on what's my theme, how am I living it today, or what do I need to do to live it more tomorrow. The other thing you can do is you can ask someone else to check in with you about it. So how are you going with your theme? And get them to ask you on a semi-regular basis. And I find that really helpful as well. And I think one of the most important ways to use themes is in decision making. And the way I use mine in decision making is when I'm asked to make a decision, I often now take a break and say, I'll get back to you with an answer, or I even just take a few moments to consider it. And when I'm considering making a decision that's going to commit me to do something, I'm really asking myself, is this in line with the theme that I'm wanting to live this year? Is that in line, or is it something that's going to take me further away from that theme? And once I consider if this is going to take me closer to my theme or further away, then I'll give a response. And I'm quite careful, because if I don't consider that, it's very easy for me to do what I've always done, which is, in my case, overcommit and over-offer when maybe I don't have the time or the effort to dedicate to whatever someone's asking me to do. The other thing with yearly themes is they're becoming more and more popular and more prevalent around. And I was actually in a business meeting this morning with someone I've never talked to themes about, and they just mentioned, these are my yearly themes for this year. And I was like, wow, you've got a yearly theme. That's pretty cool. And just that conversation connected us and brought us closer together. So I really encourage you, share your theme, share what the vision is that where you're trying to head, because that way people can buy in and they can support you on that vision. You might inspire someone to create a theme for themselves as well. So I hope you've got a better sense now of what yearly themes are, how to create them, and how you can use them in your life. And as I've been saying the whole time, there's no right or wrong way to use themes or come up with themes. So let me know what works for you in the comments and any ideas you have for your yearly themes. If this has been helpful, please consider subscribing. And until next time, the journey continues.